Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and no, this is actually not Simpleton. This is not the simplest module in the entire game, but rather, this is a rather tricky version of it, Simpleton't. Continuing our way on with the not modded module tutorials, we stop at the Simpleton't. And the way that you can distinguish this from Simpleton is the rings surrounding it when you hover over it. So, what exactly do we need to do? So the rings are going to be flashing for each second and resetting on 0. And what we must do is we must press this digit, this button, on specific digits based off of some series of multiplications that we get based off of our read. The hardest part of this module is simply getting the read. I can assure you that. So what we must do is we must get the rings that are flashing for each timer tick, and the timer tick of which you get them from is not relevant, just so long as you get all of them. So the rings are flashing in a sequence that repeats every 10 seconds, and this sequence consists of 9 numbers converted into binary, with the rings in an increasing order of size corresponding to the significance of each bit. So in this case, the outermost, which is the largest, is going to be our first bit that we're going to take a look at. So in this case, our first number, taking a look here, whenever it decides to reset, you'll see that reset. It's just going to correspond to 3. So in this case, our third, the digit corresponding to 9 is going to be 001000, and that will be our first digit in binary. So next up, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually just going to note down the positions of which they are in instead of doing the binary at the beginning, and then we'll focus on the binary afterwards. But in this case, this one simply corresponded to 3. So let's take a look here. So our next digit in this case is going to be, we said 3, then 3, 6, then 1, 3, 4, 5. Waiting for the reset. 3, then 3, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 3, 5 as our next one. And you see what I mean by this read can take a little bit to get, because you have to understand that the flashes can be pretty quick. 1, 3, 5, then 3, 4, 6 for that next one. Here we go. After the 3, 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excuse me. And then 1, 6, and then 1, 2. Should be the answer that we need to get. So make sure 1, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 2, end of sequence. So now that we have all 9 of our flashes given to us, let's take a look at what we need to do. So we said that we need to convert these guys into binary with the rings increasing in order of size corresponding to the significance of each bit. So in this case, the outermost that I mentioned would be corresponding to the first bit, and the 6 would correspond to the last bit. So we only had 3 flash, so we're going to do 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. Then we're going to do 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Then we're going to do, space these guys out a little bit more. So we're going to do 1, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to do 1, 3, 5. And we're going to do 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Then we're going to do 1, 4, and then 6. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 6, and then 1, 2. So for those of you who do not know how to convert binary into base 10, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here, is it's basically to the power of 2 in each time. So our last digit in this case is going to be 2 to the power of 0. And then in this case, the last one is going to be 2 to the power of 5. So 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 1, and then 2 to the power of 0. And what all of these numbers equal out to be, so 2 to the power of 0 is always going to be 1 in this case. 2 to the power of 1 is 2 in this case, it's equal to itself. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Then multiplying that by another 2, in this case 8. Multiplying that by another 2 is going to be a 16. And lastly, multiplying this by another 2 is going to be equal to 32. And this is the way how this is going to look like. So what we need to do is we need to simply add up all of these digits together. So we have for 3, that corresponds to 8. 3 6 is going to be 9. I'm going to do this a little bit fast, but just understand that this is how base 2 works. So in this case, we have 32 plus not 16. We're going to do add 8, 4, and then 2. Not. Let me make sure I added the right numbers. 8 and 4 and 2. Yep, so 46 for this one. And then we're going to do 32, 8, and 2 is going to be 42 in this case. Then we have 8 plus 4 plus 1. So 8 plus 4 in this case is 12, plus the 1 is 13. Then 32 plus 4 plus 1. So 32 plus 4 plus 1. Plus 4 is 6, and then plus 1 is 7, so 37. And then everything but 32 in this case, so that means that that's 31. Then 32 plus 1 is 33. And then lastly, 32 plus 16 in this case is equal to 48. So now that we have determined all of these numbers of what they equal in base 10, as it says, take the product of all numbers shown and consider it in decimal digits. Decimal in this case is base 10. And what we must do is we must take the product of all of these numbers, as it says. So we're gonna do that. So 8 times 9 times this by 46 times this by 42 times this by 13 times this by 37 times this by 31 times this by 33 and lastly times this by 48 will give us a large string of numbers here. And what we must do is if all digits from 1 to 9 appear in the product, press the button when the last digit second timer is 0. So everything that we have just gotten here, do all of the numbers from 1 to 9 appear. So in this case, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We actually have all 9 digits present. We actually have all 10, if you think about it like that. So in this case, we're going to simply push this button when the last digit of the countdown timer is 0. Due to the fact that we have all 9 digits present in our answer for this large multiplication. We'll press this on 0. And just like that, the module solves. However, normally what we would do is, for example, say if we were missing the 1 and the 7 in this case, which I hopefully we'll be able to demonstrate in this next module here, we would simply submit 7 and then 1 before the timer reaches 0 and it has that little reset animation because that is how it submits. And that's how that module will work. So let's take a look at another example. First time I've ever had a 0 case pop up, but it shouldn't happen all that often. Let's take a look at how this module, let's take a look at this next example here. The module itself is pretty simple. It literally is just the read for the diffuser side that is probably the trickiest part of this entire thing. The expert work for this side is pretty easy. So in this case, let's take a look here. So in this case, we have, starting from the beginning, we have 3, 4, 5, then 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 5, then 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 5, 6. And after that, then 1, 3, 4, then 2, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, then 2, 5, 6. And the last few that we have here, then 5, and then 1, 2, 3, I believe that was. I'm going to double check that last one, but it should be just 1, 2, 3. Glad I checked because it was 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case. All right, so now that we have our read, let's convert all of these guys into binary, and then we'll convert it back into decimal. So in this case, we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. So now let's convert all of these guys back into decimal. So in this case, we have we have 8 plus 4 plus 2 in this case. 8 plus 4 plus 2 gives us 14. 4 plus 2 gives us 6. Quite a large number coming up here. We have 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1 in this case gives us 61. Quite the large number in this case. In this case, we have 62 actually, because that should be 62. 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. Yep. Then next up we have 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. Then 32 plus 8 plus 4, that's 44. Then we have 16 plus 2 plus 1. 16 plus 2 plus 1 is 19. Then we have 2. And then we have 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4. In this case, giving us 60. All right, so now what we have here is let's multiply these guys together. So in this case, we have 14 times this by 6, times this by 61, times this by 62, times this by 7, times this by 44, times this by 19, times this by 2, times this by 60. So in this case, we're missing actually quite a few digits in this case. You got to be very careful with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to check which numbers do not appear for each digit in the product. So in this case, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we do not have 4, we do not have 5, we do not have 6, we do not have 7, and we do not have 8. So now, in this case, we do have a 9. So that's what we have right here. So no, don't have this document. So now what we're going to do is for each digit that does not appear in the product, we're going to press that button when the last second digit timer is that digit to add it to the submission. So in this case, what we're actually going to want to do is we're going to want to submit this stuff from highest to lowest. So in this case, we're actually going to want to submit it in 87654. So let's do that. So we're going to wait for the 0 to roll around because that is technically the submission part and the reset. So we're going to do 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. And then we're going to wait for the submission part to come in. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.